Woo! Hey, what's up, guys? Welcome to Game Aim Plus, where my aiming is gaming. I'm your host, the boy G, and we gonna talk about it. Let's talk about it. All right. In this video, we are gonna talk about a Yu-Gi-Oh! Dungeon Dice Monsters 2 for Nintendo Switch. Listen, a Yu-Gi-Oh! Dungeon Dice Monsters 2. Now, mind you, we've had a Dungeon Dice Monsters right before. This is why the 2 is involved here, because we had the Dungeon Dice Monsters for Yu-Gi-Oh! On the Game Boy Advance a long time ago. And I'm mad because I found out probably not even just like a year or two ago that we even had a Dungeon Dice Monsters on Game Boy Advance. Now, I loved the whole Dungeon Dice Monsters thing in Yu-Gi-Oh! In the anime, when we had those 2-3 episodes, it left an impact on my life and it just that in my brain forever. Just those 3 episodes, and that's crazy, right? But the Dungeon Dice Monsters thing was super awesome. It was super dope. I loved it. I'm mad I didn't get to play the first Dungeon Dice Monsters on the Game Boy Advance, you know what I'm saying? But hopefully they're supposed to be putting it into the Yu-Gi-Oh! Early Days collection for the Nintendo Switch. So let's see, we'll see how that goes. But now, if they made a Dungeon Dice Monsters 2, like, you know, now in this day of age on the Switch, it would look absolutely magnificent. All right, the Game Boy Advance one, I mean, I've seen everything about it, gameplay, trailers, this, that. I've seen all of it. I mean, the game looks great. The game looks good. You know what I'm saying? For even being a Game Boy game, a Game Boy Advance game, it looked really good. Okay, I like the way it looked. I see how they made it. It was, you know, it's still pixelized and kind of weird, but can you imagine them putting that in a 3D form on a Nintendo Switch right now in a part 2 where they can actually now expand on it? Oh my god, it would look just as good as it did in the anime. Alright, it was Yugi versus Duke Devlin on the new field. You know, it's all gridded. It looks like a grid, and you get to make a path with your monsters. You drew in the dice, you know, dimension the dice, you know. Monster comes out of the dice and unfolds to make a path for you on the field, and you can choose what kind of path you want to make it to be, but depending on how the dice unfolds, those are the only different type of you can use. Don't try to, you know, can't take pieces. You know what I'm saying? You make your path to get to the other side, to get to your opponent, and take away one of their 3 heart points. Okay? You and your opponent have 3 heart points, and you have to knock those things out and win the duel. All right? Pretty plain and simple until, you know, you got to get to your opponent first. It ain't that easy. But I would love to see this in a 3D form in a part 2 version where they can even add new characters, because the original Dungeon Dice Monsters, they had a lot of characters that you can pick and choose or go against and all that. It was really cool. Different dice that you can use, different monsters that could be dimension summon, dimension the dice. You know, I'm sorry, I love saying that because it sounds really cool when they say it, and they you know, dimension summon the dice, the monster out of the dice. It looks really cool. But I love that. I always loved it, and you can move spaces on there. Depending on what, you know, what crests you get from your dice that you get to choose. When you roll a dice, you know, you get different type of crests that you get to use. You know, you can get moving crest, attacking crest. Excuse me, getting over a cold. But there was different crests you get to use. I think it was a defending crest or something. You can get defending crests, attacking crests, moving crests, and there's a whole bunch of other ones too. I can't remember the rest of them. There's a lot of crests that you get to get all these dice, you know what I'm saying? And you get to put them in your crest pool if you don't want to use them yet. And it's really cool. Okay, so I don't know if you ever played Dungeon Dice Monsters, alright? Mind you, I've never played it either, but I've seen so much of it, so much gameplay and everything. I feel like I played it. But I want to play it, and hopefully they do add it into the Yu-Gi-Oh! Early Days collection, because I really want to play it. And I still want a Yu-Gi-Oh! Dungeon Dice Monsters 2. You know, and I know I'm not the only one in the world that would like this. There's just like that little circle of people that still remember and love Dungeon Dice Monsters, and that would love it to get remade into this new generation of life. You know, I want to see it 3D, the 3D monsters, the 3D field, spinning around, turning, seeing our monsters move on the field. You know, they all got their own special abilities or whatever, you know, the game gives them, and all kind of, listen, Dungeon Dice Monsters 2 would be fire right now. Maybe you could like give it a resurge, you know what I'm saying? Bring it back to life. Anyways, I'm getting into weird songs and music now, but we need We need this. I mean, I feel like out of all the experiments that, you know, Yu-Gi-Oh has went through with games, you know, I'm talking about like Duelist of the Roses, the whatever Bound Kingdom and Capsule whatever, and oh god, these things that they try to experiment with Yu-Gi-Oh, I feel like the best one that they actually experimented with was Dungeon Dice Monsters, and they're the only one that actually got its own few episodes. You know what I'm saying? I don't see no Duelist of the Roses episodes. You know what I'm saying? I don't see none of that. But I love the fact that Dungeon Dice Monsters had its own episode, and they actually did create it in real life. You know, the whole Dungeon Dice Monsters thing. I didn't know that either until not too long ago. I looked it up, and they have it. The physical, actual, real life version you could buy. I believe it's like super expensive though, so you know I ain't buying that. But if you make a Dungeon Dice Monsters 2, you know, on the Nintendo Switch, your boy's gonna buy that. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna see what's up with it. You feel me? I'm gonna tell you, man. Look, listen. That would make me so hyped, and that would make me so excited, because then they could, like I said, they could also add, you know, in the part 2, they could add new characters, you know, even characters from GX or 5D, Zexal, RV, you know what I'm saying? Add some of those characters into the game now, into the, you know, the whole Dungeon Dice Monsters 2. Add them. Now they can add new monsters with new type of effects, new this, new that, new everything from all these new generations, Rush Duel, all that. They could throw them all in here. They could create something phenomenal with a whole Dungeon Dice Monsters 2. Yu-Gi-Oh! I think this would bring Dungeon Dice Monsters back to life. To life! It's alive! Ah. We need that. I want that. Listen, if you're going to switch it up right. Alright? Switch it up right. This is the way. This is the way they need to go. That's the wave. The wave they need to ride, okay? A Yu-Gi-Oh! Dungeon Dice Monsters 2, all right? For the Switch. Come on. They can make it happen. I don't see why not. It's never too late. Experiment. You got the money, Konami. Get it popping. Let's go. You know what I'm saying? We got this early days collection coming. Now let's get a Yu-Gi-Oh! Dungeon Dice Monsters 2. Come on. Bring it back to life, all right? All this new material, all these new cards, all these new everything monsters, everything. Dude, the possibility is ridiculous. It is ridiculous, and I really want to play it. I'm trying to get my dice roll on, you feel me? Dimension the dice! Look, I'm done. That's my last one. Alright. But, yeah. That's all I pretty much got, guys. I just really wanted to talk about that. I thought this would be an enormous, big, great idea that I just wanted to put out there, and so me and you guys can talk about it, but like I said, that's all I got. You guys let me know what you think about this. Did you like the old Dungeon Dice Monsters? Would you like a brand new one in the new age, a part 2? Would you not? Put in the comments. Talk to your boy and let's chitty chat. But yeah, there you go, guys. Game Aim Plus. Please subscribe. Click that little bell button. That way every time I upload a new video, it'll pop up on your phone like, you feel me, dog? You feel me? But yeah, y'all have a great morning, afternoon, night, whatever it is, wherever you're at. And I'll catch you in the next one. Booyah! Woo!